Hi everybody, my name is Jo and I love to read. Today I'm going to be doing the reread tag. Now I wasn't actually tagged by anybody, but this is a really fun tag and I want to do it anyways, and we all know by now that that's the name of the game. You can be tagged or you can enjoy it. So this one's going to be all about rereading books. Question 1. Let's assume you do reread if you're doing this tag. Yes. So where do you sit on the rereading scale from almost never to all the time? So this is kind of like a bit of a sliding scale, the right word, where like I've slid to a different thing. I think that's wrong. But I never used to ever think about rereading. Ever. Come back like 10, how old am I, 26? Yeah, probably about 10, 12 years ago, I would have said, I don't reread. I want to own all the books that I've read as a badge of honour, but I'm not going to reread them because there's too many new books in the world that I want to read. Now, half true these days now. I do believe that there's a lot of books to be read in the world. I don't just want to reread my books, I want to read a lot of new stuff, I want to take it in. But I also want to go back and appreciate books that I've loved before. So that's where I'm at. I truly, really enjoy rereading, and I can't wait to make rereading a part of my regular schedule instead of something that I would just squeeze in amongst the rest of my physical TBR and my reading goals. Question 2, has that changed over your reading life? Okay, I've just answered that for you now, so easy, bingo. Question 3, when do you reread? Maybe immediately after finishing a book or not till years later, or when the mood strikes. So I never, at least up until this point, but I never go back and reread a book as soon as I've finished it. Like, I love to finish a book and then get straight onto something new. I want to jump or just straight onto something different. I don't want to go back and reread the book. Over the years, particularly when I was a teen and I wasn't dating like boys and I wanted to like feel the romance feels, I would go back and read certain parts of books. Like I used to go back and read the part in Eclipse, sorry, spoilers, but the part in Eclipse where Edward proposes to Bella and they have like that little sleepover for the first time in the house by themselves. I used to go and reread that all the time because I absolutely loved it. And I do often, in the past, I have picked my rereads when the mood strikes me. I never had a regular rhythm or routine for rereading books, so it was just when I felt like rereading one of my old favourites that I would. Question 4, why do you reread books? Generally because I've really enjoyed them and I just want to experience it again because it's been such a fun time and I just want to go back. I'm a big serial rewatcher of TV shows and movies that I've enjoyed, so it fits with my personality that if I've enjoyed some kind of media, I will come back again. But I'm also interested to be rereading things now in the future as an adult and finding out what it is like to be reading some of my old favourites from when I'm a teen. Like, am I still going to enjoy them? Am I going to dislike them? And am I going to have a better appreciation? And as well, some of the books that I've kept that I didn't enjoy as much as a teen, am I going to enjoy them now as an adult as I'm older? Question 5, how do you reread? Faster, slower, just the best bits? So normally if I'm technically rereading, I will just reread it at a normal pace. I will just, the pace that I read books in general is largely dictated on whether I am enjoying it or not. So if I'm really enjoying the book, then I will be reading it quickly. I will be wanting to do less things to read. And if I'm not enjoying it, then I'm going to read slower. So that's the same, that kind of dictates it. And as I said in a previous question, in my teenage years, I did go and reread sections of a book to enjoy them, to go back and bask in the romance. In the future, I think I'm going to hold out and read the entire things, particularly if I want to reread it for the romance, because it kind of wrecks the full impact. Like, in my head at least, this is how I'm thinking about it, that rereading certain romantic scenes, even though I want the rush really quickly, but if I wait longer and read in the anticipation, it's going to make it all the better. So that's what I'm hoping to do with my rereads going forward. Question 6, who or what do you reread? More specifically, which authors or genres or individual books? So I'm trying to get through a lot of videos now without talking about Harry Potter because I'm still donating whenever I talk about it to a transgender charity, and it just made me realize how much I discussed Harry Potter, and I really wanted to try and push myself and see if I can develop myself beyond Harry Potter. But it is one of the series that I've reread so much and I do love it, and I'm like, can she like just announce an apology already so that we can move on and be genuine about it? It's out of everything, Harry Potter and probably Twilight in my teen years are the books that I've reread the most. Question 10. Is there a book that you found better when you reread it? I'm not really sure. I'll get back to you on that in another 6 months to a year when I've reread more books. Question 11, and one that was worse. Yes, I actually do have something to talk about. Now, I haven't technically done a full reread of this, but when I was in a slump, was it a slump? Sometime earlier this year, I thought that it would be smart to reread the Walking Disaster book, which is the second book in the series, or technically the first in the Maddox Brothers series by Jamie Maguire. Now let me tell you, when I was a teen, I was absolutely obsessed with Jamie Maguire, and I'm hoping that some of her other books, not with Travis and Abby, are less red flaggy, less domestic violence-y. But I didn't see this when I first read them, and I absolutely loved them. I recommended them to everyone. They were my absolute favourite books ever. And then I went to reread Walking Disaster recently, and I reread what used to be my favourite part, and it was so bad. Like, for someone that is a lot more aware and very vocal about women's rights and trying to help people like domestic violence and things like that, it was not good. And I'm hoping that I'll probably go back and reread some of her later books, and I'm hoping that as I do, they're going to not be as bad, but we'll see. I'm sure I will take you guys on the journey and tell you. And the final question, number 12, which one book have you reread the most times? I would probably say Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I'd say the first one. So that is it for the reread a book tag. I'm not going to tag anyone, but if you want to do it, go ahead. Let me know in the comments below when you do it so I can go watch your video. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!